familiar to him, who had already been in India for hundreds of years, and amongst whom he could make his first converts, the Jews.
Jews started coming to India at the time of King Solomon to the west coast for trade. About 50,000 Jews were in that particular place. Our community in Kerala here goes back to 2,000 years.
One of the oldest Jewish communities in South India was based at the synagogue of Chenamangalam. I was introduced to a living link to that ancient community, one of just a handful of surviving members still in Kerala. So there were Jewish communities here before there were Christians?
Yes. Yes. St. Thomas came very much later. Very much later. When Jews were here when St. Thomas came. Because after knowing the Jews were here in down, St. Thomas came to India. And he came first to the Jews. He stayed with in Karanganur with Jews only. And from there he converted some Jews in Kerala itself.
And how many are left today? How many?
We are now about 52 people altogether in the whole of Kerala.
52. After making his first converts amongst the Jewish community, Thomas is supposed to have gone out and set up 7 churches around Kerala. One of those original 7 is at Paravur, just outside Cochin. Tradition says that Thomas came across a group of Brahmins, Hindu priests, bathing in a pond. He then performed one of his most famous miracles. He threw some water and it froze in midair. This so impressed the Brahmins, they converted on the spot.
Wow.
You can go down the pond.
This is quite something.
Of course, it's worth seeing.
Wow. So tell me what happened here.
When he landed, the church which we are going to see now was a temple at that time. And the festival was going on in the temple. And soon after his arrival, what St. Thomas did, he started preaching about Jesus Christ and Holy Bible. And the chief priest of temple and family got baptized using this water of this pond by the hands of St. Thomas, followed by about 1,700 people got baptized.
1,700 people?
1,770.
1,770?
70 people got baptized. This is what history says, religion says, you know.
Fantastic. And St. Thomas is placed right at the top,
right
above Jesus.
Yes.
While Thomas's role in the founding of Christianity is now accepted by some Indian scholars, those in the West mostly still dismiss it as pious fiction.
I feel very proud, especially because only one country in Europe received the Christian faith during the time of the apostles, and that is Rome. Other countries in Europe, England or Germany, they get their faith only after the 6th century, after the 10th century and so on. So at that time, this faraway land, India, which was considered the country of the black people, it's the country of heathens, non-believers who believed in things like witchcraft or things like that. This country had the good fortune to receive this great faith in the 1st century from one of the direct disciples of Christ.
I had been told that Kerala had another unique historical connection with its Christian past, another living link. Families who claim they are descended from the original converts of Thomas. They are known as the Nazranis, a name thought to derive from Nazareth, Jesus' birthplace.
St. Thomasum ഞാനുമായിട്ട് എൻ്റെ ഒരു പിതാവായിട്ടാണ് ഞാൻ സെൻറ്റ് തോമസിനെ സ്വീകരിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്.
He considers Saint Thomas as a spiritual father to him. Since the very beliefs were imparted to him through Saint Thomas, Saint Thomas definitely is a fatherly figure for him. Next to Jesus Christ, he keeps him, as the connecting link.
For want of a better word, you have a spiritual bloodline through St. Thomas all the way back to Jesus.
Yep, 100%. Saint Thomas is the man who baptized our forefathers. That's something great. We are very happy. This is a never-ending story, It is going to live till the end of the world.
The end of the world almost came for the Thomas Christians in the 16th century. When the first Europeans, the Portuguese, arrived to colonize Kerala, they were stunned to find that Christianity had preceded them and refused to accept it. In 1599, the Portuguese Archbishop Alexio de Menezes called a special synod here to bring the Thomas Christians under the control of Rome.
When these decrees and acts of the synod were put into execution, one after another, all our freedom was lost, all our rights were very much changed. They were Latinized. Even the customs were Latinized. And in order to do that, he also ordered that all our books be brought here from every parish, and they were burnt.
Archbishop Menezes had authority from the Pope in Rome to force the Thomas Christians to join the Catholic Church by whatever means. He wanted to break the link to Thomas, so he ordered the church's archive to be destroyed.
All the old priests were weeping. They wept.
So this is really a place of some sadness.
This is a great place of sadness for the Thomas Christians. Our native church lost its freedom. And our culture and our traditions and our liturgy, everything came to an end in this place in the year 1599. Here we lost our freedom.
Today, 400 years after the Portuguese tried to eradicate the Thomas Church, Indian Christians have restored their spiritual link with Jesus' disciple. I was given a special audience with the current head of the Mar Thoma Christians, the Metropolitan, the Right Reverend Dr. Joseph Mar Thoma.
So why did the Portuguese try to suppress this tradition?
They say that is all satanic.
Satanic. So the Portuguese suppressed it because they couldn't believe it was truly Christian. They saw it as satanic.
And truly Christian and Indian.
And it couldn't be Christian and Indian.
Indian traditions, they thought that it is all anti-Christian.
Today, the Mar Thoma Christians owe allegiance to no one. Every year, they celebrate their independence at a special convention held in Kerala.
So, given this particular heritage that you have, how do you feel about those who say that Thomas didn't come here and in fact the tradition is made up?
I will say the same question. Is there any historical document that Peter has gone to go? No. Both rest on traditions. If the tradition in Rome is correct, the tradition in India is also correct.
The later church was very happy to exploit the stories of the 12 disciples to legitimize its power and authority, as long as it benefited Europe. But when it came to India, it tried to eradicate the ancient link to Thomas. And this attempt to Europeanize the church didn't just stop with Thomas. In the next part, we will see how a disciple was deployed in Christianity's battle with another emerging faith, Islam. The 12 disciples were the first celebrities of the new Christian age. The later church made full use of their status to legitimize its power. They were also very useful in its battle with other faiths. And with one disciple, this even meant inventing a completely new story for him. Santiago de Compostela in northwestern Spain is one of the greatest pilgrimage sites in all of Christendom. Ever since its founding in the 9th century, millions of Christian pilgrims have come here to worship at what they believe is the tomb of one of Jesus' 12 disciples, another James, one whom the church regards as greater than the brother of Jesus. Although originally born in Palestine, this James is now not only the patron saint of Compostela, but the protector of the whole of Spain. James is one of the only disciples whose death is actually recorded in the Bible. In the book of Acts, it describes how he was executed by King Herod Agrippa in AD 44 in Jerusalem. But the first mentions of James coming to Spain didn't appear until the 8th century, more than 700 years later. 20 miles north of Santiago is the town of Padron, where according to tradition, after his death, James's body arrived in Spain.